lot better.
He started out with stepping just in front of his...
Yeah. And we actually, for the most can walk pretty quietly. And today we're not afraid of the pole. We go over the pole today like we've seen it before. Granted, yesterday it was a white pole, today it's a red pole.
Do you want me to roll the white pole out?
It doesn't matter. I mean, he went over the green pole too. I don't think he's going to care today. He was just funny.
But it was in that corner, right?
It was right over there by the mounting block.
So, when you guys clip him, and maybe this would be a good butch process, he has a reoccurring Saigon flashback thing with his ears.
Okay. Oh, we won't get anywhere near his ears.
Well, but if you decide to do bridle path or something,
okay.
If you do it from the right side, no problem. You do it from the left side.
Interesting.
But it switches.
Okay.
Feel free to put a twitch on him because then he just is fine. And I even put a twitch on him loose.
Okay.
But it's like, it's our process, right or wrong, and that's what he does.
Yeah. Okay.
I can tell you that I have clipped him, not even tied up, with his head down and a halter on, and clipped his bridle path, and done it the next time, and all of a sudden he remembers, oh, I have an ear thing.
Okay.
So I put the twitch on, loose, and he's like, oh God, I got to behave now.
Okay.
Or then there will be days that Mom has to hang off of it. So it isn't like the evil twin. There's almost like three personalities.
Like he's got dissociative identity disorder.
Yes. So if I walk in someday and you have a twitch on his nose, please don't think that I will think any less of you. Because we have tried to do it without so many times, and it just depends on what horse comes out of the barn that day.
Yeah. I get that.
The onion. So does he do that, like, did he just do in the corner where maybe you might have given him an inch of one rein or the other and he takes 4 or 5 big going forward steps?
Yes.
What is that?
Well, and right there, I was asking him to move a little forward because he was a little slow. And with him, a little goes a long way. Just like right there, I kind of said, hey, come a little forward. And he kind of goes, like there, into turbo mode,
He needs a restrictor plate.
But it's better because it used to be, inverted running, and now he just gets a little too big for his breeches. But
Which a couple years from now, when you go across the diagonal and you ask for an extended trot, he's going to turn it on.
yes, he will.
That's funny. When I came here last night to grab his bags and use the restroom, and I could tell Kathy Gray vehicle was gone.
Yes.
And when I told Conrad we had to come get my phone, and I said, let's just go somewhere for dinner in Eagle. And he said, well, how about the stuffed olive? And I thought, I wonder if Kathy's there. That would have been funny to run into her. And she was. She got there before us. They closed at 9.
Oh, they did.
When we got here, it was like 8:30.
Oh, okay.
He looks good, Sarah.
It's better, huh? There's still a lot of inconsistency, but it's much better. And I feel like his brain cells overall are better. You know, he still speeds up and stuff, but he doesn't feel quite as frantic. And overall, you know, kind of like what we were talking about in the car last night. I am allowed, and I have to be allowed, to make mistakes. You know, sometimes I feel like when Butch talks about this horse, or like when Herman's teaching me, I can never make a mistake. And, you know, I like to think that I ride well, but I don't ride well enough that I'm never going to make a mistake. And I feel like I can make more mistakes now without Wylie holding it against me so much. So I think that's a good thing in terms of him being rideable.
Which is where we kept getting worse and worse, because as I didn't ride with anybody,
Yeah.
and I'm a decent jockey. I can pretty much, I'm losing muscle strength and everything that I haven't had, I can be told, you know, do this, do this, do this, and hopefully do it correctly. But
Sure.
we just were going down the rabbit hole of him getting pissed off, me getting pissed off, him being less tolerant, me being less tolerant, and it just getting worse and worse and worse.
And it's his personality type that's so easy. You know, and he is one that he gets offended.
Yeah.
You know, you get in his way or you do something he doesn't want to do and he gets offended. And, you know, part of that I can understand, but part of that's like, shit, man. You know, it can make you want to take your life because nobody's perfect all the time, you know?
Well, do you think that's part of that almost defensive bully temperament, kind of? You know, it's
What do you mean? Like,
him being submissive, but then taking over. You know, it's the intolerance and the defensiveness.
oh, yeah. I think all of that, just, you're right, it all works together, you know? You know, like right here, though, he actually feels like a nice dressage horse.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then he got a little out and whatever, but he gets nicely connected and he moves nicely through his back. And that's me, because I did just sit on it kind of heavy, and he's like, whatever, lady.
Yeah, but come on, why? That was good. It's kind of funny when good it means not really bad. How good.
Good boy. And you know, it's interesting in the canter, whereas I used to feel like that was our more confident gait.
Uh-huh.
It's definitely not anymore. But in a good way. Like I was telling you, I feel like I actually remotely have him connected in the canter now, and he just doesn't know what to do with it. That's where like, we start on a circle, and it goes well, and then I just want to move the circle or I make it bigger, and he's like, oh my God, I don't think I can shift like that. And you feel it in him, and he's trying to be good, but you can feel in his body, he's like, okay, that's really hard, and I'm going to try to do it right, you know?
What does he do in serpentines?
In the trot or in the canter?
Trot.
Oh, he's been good. I mean, just like what we were doing, you know, circling all around here and stuff, he's good. The changes of direction at the trot are getting a whole lot better. We don't have quite so much like, oh my God, we're changing direction.
He moves his spine. Morning.
Yep. I have to tell you, his canter looks totally different. Thank you. Like, yeah. Thank you. I saw him, what, when Ramon rode him?
Yeah.
Totally different. Thank you.
He's making progress. She's doing good.
For sure. Thank you.
Give yourself some credit.
I mean,
He's probably a little unique for you, I'm guessing, just in how he talks, because he's not trying to kill you,
that's right.
but he's got the complications where
That's true.
you're trying to figure him out, but I'm thinking, unlike many of the other rehabs that you've had, he's not trying to kill you, and he's not going to take you out with him.
That's part of what I love about him, is I'm like, you know, and I don't know that I feel like he necessarily cares for me, but he's not trying to end me. And I appreciate that.
Oh, he'd be your best buddy if he was living in your backyard. But you're making him work and sweat. However, this is what I find why I've never really completely given up on him.
Yeah.
I will never ride a horse that's willing to hurt themselves
Yeah.
and take you with them.
Right, I've had a lot of those.
And he's not going to do that.
Yeah. I would think so.
This horse has had every opportunity to try again,
Yeah.
and he's taken advantage of it.
Yeah. I understand. You're like, all this. Okay. I'll do that. He was pissed off because I really sat him down there for that transition, but it worked. See, and right here, he's mad at me. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
He's still mad at me, and that's fine. And he's mad because we didn't go where he wanted to go in the arena.
Yep.
You know, and that's okay. He can be mad.
Woo! Yeah.
He has had some of that. Every once in a while he throws this in. Today it's more so than it's been though. Yeah.
Think a little residual from
From
the
his whatever.
respiratory whatever.
Yeah. I mean, he hasn't had any green snot or anything like that, but before, even when he was having the green snot, I never heard him cough. Good boy, Wylie.
After not seeing him go for probably 2 weeks,
Yeah.
I can tell how his muscling is coming along his top line. He had a little bit of a indent in front of his withers on his neck, and that's going away.
Awesome.
I think his back's up a little more.
Yeah. It's feeling better, and he's still Wylie, but it's slightly more rideable Wylie.
Well, he'd be boring if he wasn't.
I agree.
So it looks like, he's making a big swinging walk there,
Yeah.
but he's just stepping into his front hoof
Into his
print.
front footsteps, yeah.
But he looks like he's so stepping under himself behind is deceiving. It looks like he should have this huge overstep.
Right, and he doesn't.
He doesn't. He's just stepping in front of his hoof print.
Okay.
But he's really reaching forward out of his shoulders, too.
Oh, you're good. I don't know what's happening over there. He does. He gets this like full body motion going in his
Yeah.
walk,
So why is he not overstepping more? What's not, because his head
Yeah, I would say
is up a little high?
If he could take one more deep breath and really put his head down and get, sorry, there's somebody calling right on the inside there. If he could have put his head down and get more of like this motion going from back here, I think then he would take a bigger step. I think some of it, he kind of power walks a little like this.
Yeah.
And it's like he doesn't feel necessarily unrelaxed to me, but he still holds so much tension right here that he swings that out big, but this isn't quite following as big as this is,
Okay.
And I think without me picking him up and helping him,
Right.
I think naturally it's coming.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But I think a lot of that is just a relaxation thing. Because he puts so much energy into that, where he's just kind of looking around and going, and and he feels happy to walk. You're not walking over that.
He says I
feels happy
could.
to walk around and stuff, but he still is holding a bit here. Whereas, if I could get him on his own to just take a deep breath and walk more in a frame that goes down, and frees up this area, then his walk steps would be a bit more even in the back and the front. And some of that, his conformation, I wouldn't say he's really long, but he's certainly not short-coupled.
Right.
And that lends itself to definitely holding more tension here. And the lower his neck is, the more swingy he's going to be back here. Just, biomechanics. My horse is the same way. He's built like a school bus. He's really long. I
think, yeah, he's just got like an inch longer in that lower back that I would like.
Yeah, and for me, I don't think it's necessarily bad or anything. It does change, though, I have to say, the way that you train them a little bit. The horses I have that are a little naturally longer through the back need to spend a whole lot more time in like a long and low frame.
Mm-hmm.
than an up frame, you know, or else you lose the conditioning back here pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
It's just harder for them to make it and keep it.
So he's been here a month now,
Okay.
and really you've only been riding him 3 weeks here.
Yeah.
And then, what, you're riding 2-3 times a week before then.